have put it on your bicep or your behind, Bernie said. But you didn't, and now here we are. I got customers waiting, and all I got's left is the red of the rose. You think you can grit your teeth and play statue for 10 minutes more? I was lining up a comeback, but I bit it off. The tattooist didn't deserve my abuse. He was doing the job I was paying him for, gifting me a permanent reminder of an old friend and a closed case. All right, I said. If I can sit through Maid in the Ozarks, I can sit through this. Fire up your engines. Bernie propped his smoke on the table next to his inks, then flipped a switch. The needle in his hand began to buzz, a wingless hornet with a metal stinger. He leaned over me, and the needle touched down high on the inside of my left thigh. I tried breathing. I tried grinding my molars. I tried mentally reciting poetry. I felt a funeral in my brain, and mourners to and fro, kept treading, till it seemed that something, shit. No good. Even Dickinson won't stick when you let a metal wasp tread where only lovers usually linger. The needle was piercing me at a rate of 4 dozen pricks a second, the red ink of the rose mixing with the red of my blood, so I didn't know which was trickling down my thigh. Then I remembered what Ms. Pentecost said about her more painful multiple sclerosis flare-ups. Ignoring it is impossible. I can't make it go away, so I won't try. I give it exactly the attention it deserves, and not an ounce more. Since she was a woman of exceptional sense, as well as the most sought-after private detective in New York City, I figured she must know a thing or three. The least her faithful assistant, Willowjean Will Parker, could do was take a shot at emulating her. I stopped trying to ignore the pain. I let it wash over me. Just let it be. And while that didn't make it much better, at least I stopped twitching. I took my eyes off Bernie and his needle and looked through the propped-open door to the boardwalk, the sand, and the bluest ocean you could ask for, at least on that Tuesday afternoon in early September 1947. A breeze shouldered its way through, and for a brief moment the smell of ink and sweat and Bernie's rancid cigar was pushed aside to make way for salty Atlantic crispness. I needed to find a thermometer and take a note. This was the perfect temperature, at least for New York City. Because I've never been one to sit and jaw about the weather, my mind quickly wandered elsewhere. I thought about Miss Holly Quick, with whom I wouldn't have minded spending a Coney Island afternoon. The season had just ended, so the crowd had thinned out. Not so vacant that we could have canoodled together on the sand, but at least we wouldn't have had to stand in line for the cyclone. But Holly wasn't a roller coaster girl, and besides, she'd left town for a month-long vacation at a cabin in the Catskills. I corrected myself. Not a vacation, a writing refuge. She was struggling to find an ending for her book, which was scheduled to be published in the spring, and thought a month away from the city would do her good. She'd ridden up with Marlowe and Brent Chase on Saturday. The married couple were her friends, lovers, and editors. In that order. The cabin belonged to Marlowe's family, which is how a pulp magazine writer could afford a month away. I hadn't been thrilled that Holly was out of pocket for all of September, even less thrilled to learn she'd have to walk the better part of an hour to a general store to drop a nickel if she wanted to call me. Then there was the fact that Marlowe and Brent were staying with her until Thursday. To settle her in. Not a bad euphemism, I'd told her when she laid out the plan. I settled in 2 or 3 times last night. I'm exhausted. Holly dropped her chin and gave me that look from over the top of her glasses, the one I was starting to know a little too well. "Is this going to be a problem?" she asked. "Because I thought we'd been through this. Jealousy is not an attractive outfit on you." "I'm not jealous," I said. "I'm envious. I just wish I was the one settling you in." "I asked you." "I know. You can still come." But I couldn't. Even if I could tear myself away from the office, I had the feeling that the arrangement the 4 of us had figured out would start to show its cracks if we were all bunking in the same cabin. Holly suggested I come up later in the month after Marlowe and Brent had gone, but I'd nixed that too, again saying that there was too much to do at the office, backed up paperwork and filing and this and that. Thinking back on how I had prattled on, she must have known I was stitching up.